Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Hey, if you liked the video, click that like button and click subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. Appreciate you watching. This is the Fat Man. I'm gone. Well y'all, the day has came. It's the Fat Man, and we are here for the final part of the loading for the HWM 357 38 special. Now what I loaded today was just 20 rounds to test fire at the range of the 38 special, and then the next episode, which will be the end of the series, will be the 357, and will be us shooting all of them, the 38 and the 357. But today what I wanted to show you was, if you take a look, hopefully you can see that pretty good. That's the powder coat bullets that we just did in a couple of episodes back, and they are seated to about 1.545. The max length on these is 1.55. I'm kind of got it when I load. I like to kind of tend to stay out past that, or not past, but right up against that maximum length. Reason being, because it gives you less bullet jump. The less bullet jump you can have, inherently you're going to be more accurate, no matter what you're shooting, whether it's a pistol or whether it's a rifle. But the reason I like using these powder coat bullets is it saves you on so much on time and expense, and this powder coat works just as good as any lube I have ever tried, all the way from Lee Alox to any way you can mix the 45-45-10. Even at one time I was making my own out of beeswax and the wax rings that were made to go on toilets. It makes a real good one as well. I mean, I've used a lot of different stuff, and I see actually probably less leading with these if you pay attention to what you're doing. If you cast the right size bullet to start with, don't go ahead and cast something that's going to be the size you're trying to get to, and powder coat them, and that way, because if you do, you're going to be cutting all your powder coat off. If you're trying to get to 358, get a 357 mold and then powder coat those, and then you can resize them to 357. You can resize them to 358, and you're going to be in good shape, and you're going to cut none of it off. But you can see these come out real good. I hope you can see that crimp. I like a little bit heavier crimp. Forgive the dirty hands, guys. I had to reach under the table to get something a few minutes ago, and when I did, I reached and grabbed a hold of the handle of the skillet that I melt lead with, and it had soot all over it, so now I'm a dirty boy. But anyway, you can see that good crimp on those. We got 20 of them. Now the proof's in the pudding. If you got these right, they're going to drop right in, they're going to drop right out. Okay, you're going to get that thwack when they drop in there. Drop right out. Drop right out. Drop right out. Let's try a couple more here. Drop right in. Drop right in. Drop right in. Bang the gun up against the table too many times. Now when I loaded these, I kind of come up with an interesting scenario, I thought. Now there you are, all 6 of them right in there. Let's see if they fall out. Fall right out, no problem. That's awesome. I kind of come up with an interesting scenario when I did this. I was trying to think, you know, everybody and his uncles reloaded 38 for 357 and made a freaking video. What I wanted to come up with was something just a tad bit different. You know, kind of like a prepper, survival, apocalypse, zombies gone wild kind of thing. You found a place where there was some reloading supplies, but you were very limited. All you had was raw wheel weights. Didn't have anything melted down. You found a 2-cavity mold that would fit a pistol that you found that had been left behind, a HWM 38 357. You found a few cases of each, about 20 of the 38s and about 25 or 30 of the 357s. You wanted to load as much as you could. You start looking for powder. You could only find one powder, and you're kind of unsure about it because it's not considered a pistol powder by the upper echelon of reloading. It's considered a shotgun powder because it does burn kind of fast. But pretty much any pistol caliber that you can shoot, and a lot of rifle calibers that are shot, you can shoot this through it. It's red dot. It's the same as Promo. It's been used for years in a lot of handgun loads. So now I got everything that I needed to load except for one thing. I don't have a digital scale, so you start looking around. The only thing I could find was good old Lyman balanced scale. Got to know how to level it. You got to know how. You got to keep everything cleaned off. Got to make sure everything freely moves. And done that and started thinking about my load. So I got lucky and I found a reloading handbook and started looking in there, but there was no information on red dot for the caliper, for the weight of bullet mold that I had. So I'm going to have to make a guess. So I started doing some calculations in my brain, taking off I found information on a 148 grain semi-wad cutter, but the mold I found is a 140. So I dropped down from 3.5 to 3.3, and that really seemed to fit well in the case. I had all kinds of room and everything worked out well, and I got them loaded up. Now the big question is, are they accurate? Well, after we get the 357 loaded on the next episode, which will be the final episode of this, we're going to take all those bullets out and try them. We're going to look them over for pressure and check them for accuracy at about, I don't know, 10-15 yards, something like that. A normal, I have to shoot a zombie in the head with a handgun distance, but I wanted to show you real quick what we used to get this done. Okay, let me get over here and grab this quick. Yeah, fall on down. It's not my stuff. The dude in the zombie apocalypse left it behind. My old Lyman scale. I had not had this thing out. You can see it's dirty and dusty. I had not had this thing out in forever, and I got her out. Open that lid up so you can see down in there. I got it out, cleaned it off, and without a digital scale to check it, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of nervous just a little bit, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then once I could see where I was at in the case with the fill of powder, pretty much knew where I was going. I got a pair of digital calipers. I wasn't going anywhere without those. I'm glad we found a pair of those. Luckily, we got them to work because they were corroded. There was a new battery in there, but the battery in it was corroded, so we had to clean it off a little bit, put a new battery in there, and they worked. Found what was a godsend. The Lee Deluxe pistol dice, 38 Special, 357 Magnum. These come with the most important tool that we used in this whole operation, and that is the factory crimp die. Without those, we probably would have run into some issues with these cast bullets, trying to resize them and get them to work in it, especially with the 357s. But with that carbide factory crimp die, if it'll go in that die and it'll come back out, I guarantee you it's going to go in that gun. I guarantee it. As long as you've done your part about watching how much powder you put in there, what kind of crimp you used, everything's going to work out fine, and you're going to save yourself from zombies. Well guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this little bit of a video, me explaining to you what we did and how we did it, and give you one more up close look at the HWM 357 Magnum. And one more real quick look at one of these lovely 38 Specials. Oh, and one other thing also. I went through my brass cases and I just at random picked some. There's like 5 different kinds in here. There's Federal, there's Remington, there's Winchester, CBC, Perfecta. I've never heard of that. So it's all mixed brass. They all took small pistol primers. I did have to clean the primer pocket a little bit because after I knocked the primers out of these, they were all range pickup. That's kind of the way I went with it. You know, everything kind of had to be junk you had to have to start with, and you had to make something that would work. So when I knocked them out, these things had not even been through a Vibrex, nothing. All I did was wipe them off, look down in the case after we got the primer knocked out to make sure there was no obstructions or no big hairy spider living down in there. and put powder in them, shoved a bullet on them, crimped them up. We're ready to rock and roll. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope it was something that was informative as well as entertaining. It's the Fat Man. I'm gone.